Okay, we got our pickup done for the neck, and I told you in the first video I was going to make a Jeff Beck 1954 Esquire, Fender Esquire copy. Not a copy, I'm not making it like his, I'm just going to make the Esquire cutouts. Now, as you see, I've already taped this off, okay? And that tape line is where I'm going to cut that section of the guitar out. And you're probably saying, how are you going to do that? Some of you already know. Now, the way I did that, okay, I've done a lot of these, so I know where that. You have to have the pick guard on the guitar to know where you're going to do this. Okay? And you want to tape it off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a belt sander. But before we do that, the way I do it, I always use a piece of cardboard. If the guitar's old or whatever, I always use one because when it is new and you're all done with it, you don't want to scratch it. I'm going to take a piece of wood, like this right here. I'm going to have that hanging off. I'm going to take a piece of wood. And I'm going to use 2 C-clamps to C-clamp it down so it won't move. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use just a common, basic belt sander with real coarse sandpaper on it. See, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp that down, and you want to put a piece of wood on it. You do not want to clamp it to the body. Okay? And you want to get it out of the way where the sand is going to be. As you see, that's pretty tight already. And I don't suggest that you clamp down super, super tight because you might crack the body. So let's not do that. So find yourself some old C-clamps or go to your buddy's house or whatever. Or maybe your buddy can hold it for you, but you ain't going to get it real precise. Now, the reason you got that line on there is that line is our guideline when we stop sanding. Now, it's going to get a little messy in here. I got my camera. All I got is a cheap, inexpensive Makita belt sander, 3-inch. And what I'm going to do, of course you can see I've used that one. I got some 50 grit sandpaper. I'm going to put it on here. Slide it down. And we're going to plug that bad boy in. Get all the tools out of the way that you're not using. You don't want to hit nothing unnecessary. Now, I'm going to use that blue line as a guideline. On this guitar, I'm going to start right here on the corner. Then I'm going to work my way in. And I'm going to kind of just visualize the contour that I want. But this line is where I'm going to stop. Right there. Okay, that's my guideline to know that's the contour I want, and it's going to sand it just right. So let me go ahead. I'm going to start sanding it, and then we'll see what it looks like when it's finished. So we got the guitar clamped down tight. You take your sander, and as you see, it's already taken off the edge right there. You don't want to go past. I'm watching the end of it. I'm watching that end because I don't want to go past that tape line, see? Okay, I got my 80 grit DA. You can use hand block, whatever you got. I'm using air tools because that's what I got. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish that out with this 80 grit, and then I'm going to go to 180. Pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a piece of 180. That's going to be our final sand because we're going to repaint this guitar, but we're also going to relic it out. Now, that's as smooth as a baby's ass. Okay, I'm going to take my 180, I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to take a piece of 180, I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to go ahead and round those corners off. Those are actually pretty sharp. And don't worry about sanding the paint because you're going to repaint it anyway. All you're doing is getting that contour like it's supposed to be. And you're going to have to sand the paint anyway, so to paint the guitar, so who cares? Now, when you're painting sparkle paint, I just want to let you know, okay, when you're using sparkle, okay, glitter, you have to paint it on black. So if you're going to do something like this and you want to kind of follow my lead, do what I'm doing, you have to have a black guitar or paint it black. So when I buy Peavey reactors, I always buy a black one. Now, I'm going to do that back line right there. So I'm going to do the same thing on the back as I did on the front. Maybe again. I'm going to sand that edge. Get that corner sanded. Round that edge off right there in the center. This is a pretty trick situation we have here. I don't think you've ever seen anybody do this. So, pull that tape off. Sometimes I paint the guitar and then I do it so the wood will show. But since we're going to paint this guitar, I'm going to sand some of it off anyway. And I'll show you what I mean when I do that. I'm just sanding down those edges, rounding it off where it's supposed to be. What we're going to do is go ahead and get all these sharp edges off of where I sanded it, see? And then I'm going to show it to you. Let me get this sanded down here on these edges. And once again, don't worry about, you really have to do a repaint. Or, you know, you can do this without repainting the guitar, but you got to be really careful. See what I'm saying? And all I'm doing, I'm just softening up that edge. All these edges, I'm softening them up. So, we're going to have to stain that with some black paint to make it look right. And I am going to come back and relic it out after I paint it, don't worry. So, there you go. As you see, we got the contour we need on our body. And you can do this to any, you don't have to do, you know, you can do this to a Fender, you can do it to whatever you want. And that's pretty precise. That's pretty exactly like Jeff Beck's guitar, where it comes down right past the little strap hole, and it starts right, you know, a little bit past. It actually starts at there, but we actually went a little bit farther. So that's about right. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some scratches and dings and dents on this real quick, and then I'm going to sand it down with some wet 400, and then we're going to paint this guitar. So let me go ahead and do that, and we're going to get ready to paint it.